This is Scotty Montgomery, head football coach of the ECU Pirates, and you're listening to The Drive with Mark Panichelli on the 252 ESPN Radio Network.
Tonight, we've got more basketball as your radio home for the NBA playoffs. The NBA Finals, 252 ESPN Radio, will continue tonight. Cleveland takes on Toronto. Tip-off is set for 6 p.m. So stay tuned for that right here. It has been made official now. We talked about it last week. Jason Witten will retire from his active roster spot as a Dallas Cowboy. A guy who's headed to Canton, one of the all-time tight end greats, and will be the color analyst for Monday Night Football. But in one of the big, okay, we kind of knew that was going to happen moment, right?
Right.
Who wasn't doubting that already? And I still think this means we've got way too many ex-Dallas Cowboy players in the booth.
Yeah, you're right. I wasn't in here last week when you were talking about that, but that is one of the things that you mentioned and you brought up. And I don't know what it is, if it's just because it's quote-unquote America's team and everybody just loves Dallas. But I guess my problem with Jason Witten getting into the booth is, has Jason Witten ever done or said anything interesting or anything of note? I mean, outside of the one play from Jason Witten that I can remember where he had his helmet torn off and he went scrambling down the field for, an extra 30, 40 yards on the catch, whatever it was. Other than that, the only thing I know about Jason Witten is he's really good at like 6 or 7 yard butt hooks, and that's about it. Other than that, he's just kind of a
great
boring
safety
guy.
valve.
Right? Yeah, he's a security blanket, if you will. But I guess the thing that sort of makes me not sad, because I'm an Eagles fan and I don't get sad about anything that goes on with the Dallas Cowboys. But the thing that makes me sad is this is the serious end of an era. The Dallas Cowboys have now officially seen the end of Tony, Dez, and Jason. No more Tony Romo, no more Dez Bryant, no more Jason Witten in Dallas. It's a completely new look Cowboys team, and I don't know if I think it's going to be they're going to be worse off for it.
I think you're hitting on a great point here, because these are the underachievers. If you want to talk about the Cowboys generation, if you're an anti-Cowboy fan, you are weeping a little bit inside, because these are the guys that could not win a championship that are now retiring. The Tony Romos, as you were talking about, the Jason Wittens.
Right.
These are the guys that are now retiring. And this opens the door for the possibility of Dallas returning to championship form, does it not? And for an anti-Cowboy fan, as much as that sort of excites the Cowboy fan, there's an anti-Cowboy fan that's a little heartbroken to hear that this might happen.
Right. So your thoughts on just Witten being in the booth? Like, do you think he's going to do a good job? Because I don't think anybody expects him to be Tony Romo. Tony Romo came in and
I hope he's not Tony Romo.
You hope he's not Tony Romo.
Don't you think Romo talked too much?
Yeah.
Did you like Romo? I mean, I didn't hate it.
I think Jim Nantz thought Tony Romo talked too much.
I think we don't like Nantz. And I think for a moment we were just happy that someone shut Nantz up because he kept talking.
Have I told you my Jim Nantz story?
You have no, I don't think so.
I actually do have a Jim Nantz story. So
I love a Jim Nantz story.
In 2013, I was fortunate enough I won a trip to go to the Final Four. I got to go to the Final Four in Atlanta, Georgia. It was like an all-expense-paid trip. It was like a trip for two. It was a really cool event. This was actually the year that Louisville had their championship vacated. The first day I got to Atlanta, so I guess the games were on a
Terry
Friday.
was here on that team? I don't know.
I think he was. I know that was the year that Kevin Ware broke his leg
yes.
for Louisville. He might have been on that team. But anyway, so the first game's on a Friday. We get there on a Thursday. Walking around downtown Atlanta, like right there in Centennial Park, Olympic Park, whatever they call that thing right there in the heart of Atlanta. And they have a CBS has a set up there in the middle of the park. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And, it was like the C Crew out there doing like a 3 o'clock in the afternoon show similar to what we do here. And so I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And we're walking around and boom, here comes Jim Nantz walking down the street. He's in a little entourage. There's a couple, everyone's wearing suits. Jim Nance is clearly on the way to do something.
Yeah.
But me being, I think I was probably 20 at the time.
Okay.
Walking past him, I was like, oh, hey, Mr. Nance, I'm a big fan. I introduced myself. My name's Sam Alvis. I'm a big fan, blah, blah, blah. I wonder if I could get a picture. And just looks at me, cold face as anything. It's just, no. And just keeps on walking. I mean, the man doesn't even take a second to stop. He doesn't even stop for 1 second and acknowledge me. It's just no eye contact, no nothing, just no, and keeps on walking. So I always liked Jim Nance, but now I think Jim Nance is kind of a jerk.
That's a great story. And I'm not saying that sarcastically. That is a great story, and I think it's a story that needs to be told because you see these people on TV, and people develop these ideas that people are either this way. Oh, I'll bet that Jim Nance is a nice guy. He's not.
He's not. And, I mean, I guess I don't blame him. I mean, I'm sure he gets bothered all the time.
I know this is going to be a sexist thing for me to say. If Ariel Epstein asked Jim Nance for a picture, is he taking the picture? I'm going to say yes.
Well, in my defense, I was a lot cuter like 4 or 5 years ago than I am now.
I'm saying yes. I think you even on your best day. Though,
okay, right.
Even though I'm
Ariel
saying
still gets the photo over me.
I'm betting you selectively.
Yeah. Okay.
I would bet you selectively. And if there were TV cameras around, I bet you he would have signed that because they love to. Oh.
Yeah, acts like he's
Great
just
to have you
chumming
here.
it up.
Great
with
to
the
have you here at
locals.
Final Four weekend here on CBS.
A tradition unlike any other.
Yes, me sliding you in the parking lot. No, the answer is no. I got big time by Marcus Allen once, like that.
Why don't I know who Marcus Allen is? I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank here. Who's
God,
Marcus
man, you're
Allen?
making me feel old. He's an old running back. And I tried
For
to
who?
interview him.
Okay.
Played for the Oakland Raiders.
Okay.
Played for.
Yeah. What is he doing nowadays? I feel like he's been in the news recently for something.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know what he's been in the news. Hopefully, nothing bad.
Oh no, there was a safety out of Penn State named Marcus Allen who just got drafted.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's the
okay.
guy you were
That's
thinking
the guy
of.
yeah. Okay.
No, this is I think he's an NFL Hall of Famer. I want to
believe
say he's a Hall of Famer. He might not be, but great running back. And played for the Oakland Raiders, LA Raiders. Played for the Kansas City Chiefs, and one of the USC Trojans.
Yeah, I recognize this guy.
Yes, and
Over 12,000 career yards.
yes, I mean one of the greats. One of the greats. But he basically big time me. I asked him for an interview, and he basically put his arm around me and said, "Son, there's a lot of guys you can." And he basically, long story short, told me about how I should probably go ask Matt Leinart. That there's certain guys on certain levels that you can, who are you again?
Now, did he actually tell you to go ask Matt Leinart?
No,
because that would be funny.
that
if
would
you
have been
just
funny.
dissing Matt
But
Leinart.
he basically told me about how there was a hierarchy and that a Marcus Allen only talks to a Jim Rome. Marcus Allen doesn't. What's your name again? Mark. Yeah, Marcus Allen doesn't talk to Mark Panicelli. So, but there are guys out here in this locker room that you would talk. I mean, he gave me like this. There are guys you could talk to, and go talk to them. So, thanks a lot, Marcus.
Marcus Allen. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2003. 6 Pro Bowls.
Yes, one of the reasons why I chose 32 as my number as a small kid, because of Marcus Allen.
How about that?
And that's why I tell people, get to know who who these so-called idols of yours are, because turns out they might be jackasses.
What did we learn on the show today, folks? Jim Nance and Marcus Allen, both historic jackasses.
Yes.
You can tell them we said that and have them come on the show. and talk to
That's
us
right.
about it.
That's right. Tell them we said that. Tell them we said that. Now, I'll tell you who are great people. The great people at OrangeCrate.
Hey, you're not kidding, man.
Those are great people.
OrangeCrate, myorangecrate.com, the OrangeCrate mobile app. Are you craving your favorite dish from that restaurant down the road tonight, but you're too busy? You're too tired. Maybe you're just too lazy to go get it. Well, OrangeCrate, formerly known as Table Takeout, has you covered tonight. OrangeCrate has been delivering favorite meals to people in cities throughout Georgia, Tennessee, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, and now gladly here in Eastern North Carolina. Whether it's your home or office, 7 days a week, you will get fast and experienced delivery from over 100-plus restaurants across Eastern North Carolina. That's right, whether you're in New Bern, Greenville, Jacksonville, it does not matter. They can hook it up. They can also provide corporate meal services right to your place of work for groups of 2 to 500 or more with a quick and easy way to order right on their website. They are not some, to use the expression, big box store. They are each individually owned and operated local franchises run by people right here in our community. As I mentioned, over 100-plus restaurants right here in Eastern North Carolina. Whether it's Italian cuisine, Mexican food, or maybe just a good burger, Orange Crate can hook it up and have it delivered right to your door, hot, fresh, and on time, and in my experience, often sooner than you may think. Your city at your fingertips. Download convenience today. MyOrangeCrate.com and the Orange Crate app. Proud sponsors of the Orange Crate Stat of the day.
Take that for data.
I know you're going to love this. Liverpool advanced to its 8th European Cup final. Yes.
This is a sponsored segment, right? Like, nobody wants to hear about soccer.
It's the Champions League, man. Champions League. Liverpool advanced to their 8th European Cup final, which is great for them. One of the storied clubs in all of England. Its first UCL finals appearance since 2007. They lost that one to AC Milan. The 13 aggregate goals in that series tied a record for the most goals in a UEFA Champions League knockout round. They're playing Cristiano Ronaldo and Real Madrid. You may be familiar with them, Sam.
I have heard of those two teams.
Real Madrid. And this will be the final on May 26th. Having defeated the team, by the way, in each of their previous 3 meetings in a European or Champions League knockout rounds, Real Madrid didn't even score in any of the games. That's right, Liverpool, who has no business being in this final whatsoever. And you'd say, how are they going to beat Cristiano Ronaldo? Well, guess what? Historically, they've played them. They beat them 4-0 in 2009. They beat them 1-0 in 1981. Liverpool owns Real Madrid. And so one would think English clubs, by the way, are 1-3 versus Spanish clubs in these European Cup finals. But you're not going to believe this. The 1-3, the one win, by the way, was guess who? Nasty, stinky, red-clad Liverpool. Just absolute nastiness. You know they beat Manchester City, right, to get to this point.
Did I know that? No, I did not.
This is their stupid song.
How long ago was this? Like, was this like yesterday?
They won yesterday to get to the final.
Okay.
They beat Roma in the second leg.
Oh, I was cheering
survived.
for Roma. Is Roma not the ones who knocked off Barcelona? Yeah,
yes.
Okay. I was rooting for Roma. That was
right.
the underdog. I pay attention to your soccer stuff a little
Just
bit.
a little bit. Just a little bit. When did this happen?
Right.
Are you even bringing up a relevant sports story? What is happening with this? But, yes, Liverpool has some history. The last team, by the way, to beat last English club to beat a Spanish club. Stinking Liverpool. So, that being said, I'm sure the listeners will appreciate your American stat.
Take that for data.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're having fun in the NBA playoffs last night, and the Utah Jazz, I guess, upset the Houston Rockets in one game to tie the series up 1-1. But the story of the Jazz to this point in this postseason has really been their sensational rookie, Donovan Mitchell, obviously. And last night, Donovan Mitchell did something that even John Stockton never did in a Utah Jazz jersey. Donovan Mitchell broke John Stockton's franchise record for the most assists in a playoff game as a rookie. Mitchell had 11 assists last night. John Stockton's playoff record as a rookie was only 10 assists in a single game. Now, it's a skewed statistic because John Stockton, obviously one of the greatest point guards of all time, certainly one of the greatest passers and distributors of all time in NBA history. Stockton didn't even start as a rookie when he was with the Utah Jazz.
Wow.
And but his non-rookie assist record in a playoff game was just 11 assists, so sort of tied Donovan Mitchell there. Stockton did, of course, have 5-6 seasons in a row where he had at least 13 assists or more in each and every single game. That's what he averaged he averaged for the year. Excuse me. Mentioned it earlier. You brought up Gordon Hayward, but as part of my stat, I wanted to mention that Donovan Mitchell has now won more playoff games in a Utah Jazz jersey than Gordon Hayward ever did as a member of the Utah Jazz. And just for an icing on the cake, a tip of the cap to Joe Ingles himself, who really has made a name for himself over the past couple of weeks. Joe Ingles, a.k.a. Jingles, as we like to call him here, hit a franchise playoff record for the Utah Jazz. 7 threes last night, 7 of 9 from beyond three-point land on his way to 27 points in the 116-108 victory. So thank you, OrangeCrate, and thank you, Utah, for making this series somewhat interesting versus Houston, even though you're still going to lose in 5.
We need to take a final break of the day, and when we come back on the other end of it, we'll just wrap this whole thing up and send you out to basketball. Don't go anywhere.
So much time wasted.